Welcome back, Wolfpack. Today we're going to bottle our strawberry mead.
Oh shit.
We're going to spice and cranberry our traditional mead, the bucket. We're going to put some Camden tablets in the blueberry mead. And then we're going to start a strawberry wine. So I've got a bunch of strawberries and I really need to use them, and that's about the best way I can figure to use them since they're already frozen and thawed. So we'll get started with the strawberry mead. It's actually really clear compared to what it could be for what I believe its gravity is. Ugh, I might not be able to get the lid off. Wouldn't that be something? Ugh. There we go. All right. There was a good seal on that bad boy. All right. Nothing growing on top. Smells really good. We're going to start with gravity reading. Everything has been sanitized in Star San. Mixed according to the manufacturer's directions, of course. Oops. Now.
Heater can be turned off.
Yep, it didn't move. It's right at 105.4. So we're going to pour this off into a bottle. This is where it's going ultimately anyway. And then I'll be right back. So now that that's done, we're going to put together our bottling wand and racking cane, which has also been sanitized with Star San. Don't want to get any infections in our brews and make it taste bad. Might even make us sick with the wrong ones. Thankfully, though, there's not much that could infect it that could kill us from what I understand, so that's a plus. There we go. Alrighty. Now, it's pretty simple. There's a needle valve here at the end that when you push on it, it lets the fluid flow through. You guys have seen me racking and bottling a dozen times, so I'm not going to torture you guys with that. I'm going to go ahead and get this done, and we'll be back to see the bottles. Alrighty. We got it all out there. Very little waste, really. Just the tiniest of yeast cakes at the bottom. Got almost 7 bottles. Just about that much short of 7 bottles. It's actually really clear. You could see right through it. It just wasn't as clear in the 1-gallon jug. There was a lot more of it. So, but there's that for that. Up next, we've got the bucket of mead, which is a 2-gallon batch of traditional that we're going to add some cranberries to 1 gallon and cloves, cinnamon, and allspice berries to the other gallon. Oh, and this lid's broken. How nice. It's cinnamon. It'll smell good at least inside my brewery in a box. That's what I'm going to call it too, because it all fits real nice and neat into one box. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see a tour of my brewery in a box. Almost everything but my fermenters fits in there. Everything but my fermenters fit in there. Everything. Which is kind of cool for me. It's a nice airtight tote. Keeps smell in, mice out. At least that's the hope. I'm going to sanitize everything again, put away the strawberry, break out the traditional, and I'll be right back. Alright, now we've got our traditional out. just on site. Everything looks good. It smells like honey. Looks like honey. Let's take us a gravity reading, shall we? Find out exactly where we're sitting here. Oh, that's so clear. Uh-oh, we went dry. How dry did we go? I guess not completely dry. 1.1014 again. Double check our notes here. Oh, I was brilliant. I didn't write it down. Wrote down the original gravity. So it's 12 points left, so we used 110 points of gravity. That comes to about, consult my handy dandy little quick chart, 14%, 14 and a half, right around there. So, sounds good to me. Let's get out a couple of fresh fermenters so we can spice half of this, put cranberries in the other half. Alrighty, we got our fermenters sanitized in Star San. You'll get tired of hearing me say that, but it's worth repeating. I'm going to put our racking cane back together. And then we're going to rack this. And again, you've seen me rack dozens of times. Just real quick, just a couple pumps of the auto siphon, and it just starts going. And as long as your destination is below your origin, you're good to go. So I've got a bucket down here on the floor. I'm going to set my fermenters on it, and I'm going to leave my mead up here on the counter, and we're going to rack it, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, while I'm racking that second gallon for the metheglin, we're going to go ahead and open up these cranberries here and get started on this first batch. Wow, this stuff flocculated really well. It's just a yeast cake right at the bottom. Got some nice dehydrated cranberries there, dried. We're going to pour in about half of them. From what I understand, dried cranberries actually pack a lot more flavor for steeping than fresh do. Just do them all. There we go. That ought to make for a nice little punch. And when that's ready, we'll bottle that. I'm expecting a nice bright red color. And we'll taste this in about a week and see how it's doing. In the meantime, we're almost done with this one, so I'll be right back. Alright, now to put a lid and an airlock on the cranberry one. Just to make sure nothing gets in or out. There we go. And then that one will get put away to sit for a week or two. See how that goes. And now we have this one. I'm going to open up the cinnamon, allspice berries, and whole cloves. And we're going to be very careful. Weird thing, I'm actually allergic to artificial cinnamon, like cinnamon scented candles, cinnamon scented pine cones. It chokes me up real bad when I go through the grocery store. But real cinnamon, I'm quite alright with. That's tree bark. That smells good. I'm going to put in 2 sticks. Some might say that's not very careful. Well, cinnamon's all right. There we are. And then about 20 allspice berries. We're going to pull a measurement from one of my favorite channels. About that much. City Steading Brews taught me a lot about this stuff. And they're quite comical, and I like some of their terminology. We're going to do about 20 berries. Oops. Of Jamaican pepper, if you will. There we are. About that much. And drop them right on in. And then 2 cloves. Don't want too much clove. I don't want to go numb when I drink it. But I do want that flavor. So we're going to add 2 cloves. These things aren't very big, but they are potent. And in they go. And now we've made our first metheglin. So metheglins were actually used for medicine back when they were invented. Interesting little tidbit. I'm going to put a lid on this, airlock on this, put it away. Of course, we got to put some star sand in our airlock first. The other one already had some star sand in it. There we go, right about the middle of the second bubble there. And in the lid we go. Alrighty, I'm going to go put these away, and I'll be right back with the blueberry melomel, or blueberry mead. And we're going to add some Camden tablets to that to let it sit for 24 hours before we rack it into another bucket and let it settle and clear out for another week or so. And we might just let it set on the yeast cake. It's not going to hurt anything. It'll extract a little more flavor from the blueberries. We might just do that since we're going to mix it all up anyway. Let it settle in its original bucket for like a week, and then we'll transfer it to another bucket and see where we go from there. So I will be right back. Alrighty, we got the blueberry out, and we actually took out a sample, do a reading on. Comes out to 0.994. So it's done. It is done. So we could take 5 of these tablets, because manufacturer's directions is 1 per gallon. Really, I should probably only do 4, but there might be just a little bit more than 4 gallons in there because the blueberries took up about a gallon. But I'm going to go ahead and do 5 just to be on the safe side and make sure this does not start again, because this is going to have to be sweetened. We're going to use honey and sugar, the white sugars, for if the blueberry needs to come out, but we're not doing that today. We'll do that when it's closer to time to bottle, when we've got it all settled out. So I'm going to take out 5 of these, crush them up real quick, pour them in and give them a stir real quick. Sorry, there's not a lot to see. It's kind of heavy, so, and being just out of surgery, they don't want me lifting big things. So I can't exactly lift it up on the counter to show you guys, but here, I can bring you guys down to it. I didn't think about that. And here you have it. Not a single bubble left on the surface. The blueberries all still kind of look like blueberries. They look like they got quite a bit of flavor. They could actually still give up. So we're going to work with that and let it extract some more flavors for a little longer, because those berries are still pretty dark. Now I'm going to pour this sample back in, because everything has been sanitized in. You guessed it, star sand. Got to be sure we're safe. Alrighty, I'll be right back as soon as I get these in there. Alrighty, that's going to go back in the closet now, and then we're going to start this strawberry wine. It's going to be our first wine that we've ever done. This ought to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So I'll be right back, and we'll get into that. Alrighty, now we're back at it. We got our strawberries. They were frozen and then thawed. They were cleaned before they were frozen. Some of these are actually cut up. I extracted a whole lot of juice. I'm really excited. We've got them in a bowl here. We're going to mash them up a little bit. That way we get just as much out of them as possible. The yeast can get in there as quick as possible. I liked what happened with that Travis Weber method of nutrient. So I'm going to do the same thing to this. It'll be about half as much nutrients because it's half as much yeast, if I understand correctly. So I've got everything sanitized and star sand. That we're going to need for this project. Everything else is going out of the way. Not doing any more racking, so I can put that in the sink for washing. Okay, we have our 1 gallon fermenter. Strawberries. Ooh, careful. I spilled a little star sand, so watch out, this stuff's slippery. So these that are already cut up, I'm just going to pour them straight into the fermenter. Which is all but 1 bag. Lots of juice. This is going to be good stuff. Alrighty, every last strawberry in there. As Brian and Derek could say, every yeast and every fruit's got to fulfill its destiny. It just so happens this is these fruits' destinies. I estimate there's about 2.5 pounds of fruit here. And yes, I'm leaving the greens on. That's okay. They don't really particularly do much from what I understand, so we're going to trust and see what happens. Mash these whole strawberries up. There we go. They don't have to be completely obliterated, but they definitely do have to be opened up. There we go, because that's some tough skin. And we'll pour that on in there. There we go. That actually almost gave us 1/3 of our volume there. That looks really rich. I may not have to add any sugar to this. But what we are going to do is add some water. I used tap water. The last batch was an experiment. Come to find out, I used the wrong kind of water. I used distilled water. I wasn't supposed to do that. It was supposed to be spring water. But with the nutrients, it worked out. So, but I haven't had any problems using tap water. So tap water is what I'm going to use again here. So give me just a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to fill this up the rest of this way with water and go grab a packet of yeast. Alrighty, so I'm back, and we have Lauven Borgoven RC212. I understand it's a red wine yeast, strawberry being a rosé or pink. In my mind, it should work. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but it'll do the job. I think it's 14% yeast. I'll have to look it up. But we're going to pitch this right into our must and give it a good stir. Get a bunch of oxygen in there. Always thwack your packet so you get all the yeast out of there. No yeast left behind. I like to massage the packet too. It gets them out pretty good too. Mix this all up, making sure to not be gentle so that we can get some oxygen into it. Because every good yeast colony needs some oxygen to start with. Reversing the way we stir so we can agitate it extra much. All right. Now, let's take us a gravity reading. All right, we're going to take us a gravity reading and blow some bubbles in it. It's a bright pink color. Make sure we put our hydrometer in here. That way we don't overfill or drop it. There's a lot of fruit in here. I expected a lot more than that. So we've only got 4 points of gravity in here right now, but that's not counting what all the strawberries still contain. So we're gonna bump it up with some white sugar. Gonna add, see, a pound of white sugar would add 46 points of gravity. And we want to get to about a 090-100. So about 2 pounds of gravity, or 2 pounds of sugar mixed into this should be right where we want to be. So give me a second, I'll go get my sugar and I'll be right back.